All right, we're moving on to public communication. Item number 5, you're welcome and encouraged to participate in the meeting. Public comment is taken on items listed on the agenda when they are called. Public comment on items not listed on the agenda will be heard at this time. Comments on controversial items may be limited, and large groups are encouraged to select representatives to express the opinions of the group. Written requests. Members of the public submitting written requests at least 24 hours prior to the meeting will be normally allotted 5 minutes to speak. We have, again, on number 6, we have 3 cards. First is Mr. John Whiteman. Welcome, sir. And we have Cassandra and Pamela queue up, if you don't mind.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and the audience. My name is John Whiteman. I reside at 900 Northridge Drive here in Yuba City. I'm here to ask a number of questions of the council and the city, specifically relative to the county's proposed homeless shelter at 1965 Live Oak Boulevard here in Yuba City. The property is owned by the county, but it's within the city limits and surrounded by city limit property. And it's presently occupied by county offices, including behavioral health. My questions for the city is, well, first, homelessness is a problem across the country, throughout the state, and Yuba City are no exception. And I'm not here to talk specifically about homelessness. I don't have a solution. But I am here to ask questions as a resident of this community who has invested over 30 years of my professional and personal life and wealth in this community. And so I want to protect that and my family. My questions are, what is the council's city's position given the potential impacts of the project on nearby residents and businesses? 2, what commitments has the council and the city made to provide for the safety and security of contributing city residents and businesses? 3rd, what resources, staff and dollars, are to be dedicated to the protection of children, families who utilize local schools, preschools, and parks that will be immediately impacted by that facility? Does that mean that my time's up?
You're fine.
Huh.
You have a minute left.
My concern is that this is a county project. My understanding that the county is in a superior position and can do whatever with their property. And I know the city has been represented on an ad hoc committee, citizens committee, that has, in my opinion, operated stealthily on this matter until recently. And I would just like to hear what the city might be doing or plan to do to protect its residents from the impacts that are potentially imposed on the nearby residents and businesses, most of whom had no clue about this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. City Manager, may we have a direct staff to answer questions, those 3 questions?
I think Mr. Whiteman raises some very valid points.
Yes.
And if it's the council's desire, we can put together a summary, based upon the questions raised tonight, to bring back to your council. We have had a participant on it. We also have, legal counsel, which, there are matters that there are legal matters that pertain to what we can do in terms of controlling county, but then there are just, political matters, the fact that it's within our jurisdiction. And so I think those are questions that we can certainly bring back before you in summary format.
Thank you very much. And may we please, we have Mr. Whiteman's address here. I would like to provide him a copy with those answers once we
Absolutely.
review them.
Yeah, and of course, Mr. Whiteman has been here before. He knows where to find us. And so if there needs to be follow-up, there certainly can be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Whiteman, we're really happy that you came with your questions. Just as moving forward for efficiency purposes, you do not have to wait for a council meeting to present those questions. You can come to the city, you can come to any one of us at any time and ask your questions. Just keep in mind it's a matter of kind of procedure here. It's a public comment period, not question and answer period, so it kind of complicates things. I completely understand, but I want you to know you're welcome in City Hall with your questions anytime, okay?
I understand.
All
your
right, thank
point.
you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening.
All right.
My name is Pamela Thompson, and I reside at 1200 Weiler Road in Yuba City, California. I'm a resident of Yuba City and one of many homeowners on Weiler Road. And I'm one of the homes that's impacted by the North Pelora Shopping Center development. I rise tonight to bring two issues to the council's attention that should be discussed, addressed, and resolved. Issue number one, eminent domain. Is this term being used or applied in reference to the development of the shopping center at North Pelora? If so, are the homeowners that are impacted being notified in writing? What are our rights? Who decides how much land is taken under eminent domain? Issue number two, in regards to the campfire. When the campfire occurred, there were particles drifting in the air. And me and my church, we were out doing a turkey drive, and we were coughing because we were shaking our signs trying to get folks to donate to United Way. Hazardous waste transportation. As a resident of Yuba City, the inter-city transport of hazardous waste from the campfire to the Port of Oakland is a concern. We know there's devastation up that way, and they're hauling it out. And when they haul this hazardous waste across the interstate, it's passing through, I assume, Yuba City. So I wanted to find out, how safe is this transport? We know that the residents can't return to Paradise because it has to be cleaned and filtered. And I also am a co-owner of Porky's Barbecue, so we get quite a few of the workers from Paradise who are coming through to eat, and they discuss what's going on. So it's a very big responsibility, and it's a very hazardous environment. So my concern is, how safe is this transport, and will the waste be contained or bubble wrapped as it passes through Yuba City? Are the haulers certified? And human error can be very dangerous. Will these haulers of hazardous waste travel through Yuba City? We don't know. We know they're removing the waste, but we don't know if it's coming through our town. We must remember disasters impact surrounding communities, not just the community that had the disaster. So I'm hoping we can have some discussion, because disasters do impact us all. And with the campfire, this was pretty bad. And for us, that day that we were with United Way doing the turkey drive, there were particles floating in the air, which means it was coming this way. So my question pertains to hazardous waste transportation and also eminent domain. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. If you wouldn't mind submitting those or saving your list of questions, I'd be happy to work on getting an answer for you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Terrell.
Pamela Thompson, it appears. Is that not? That was Pamela. I'm reading my tops there. Let me put my eyes back on. Cassandra.
Yes.
No, at least I said Pamela right. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I actually have some pictures of the campfire and the garbage, the metal removal from a property up in Orville. If you wanted to give it to them. I'm afraid of these particles going through the air, and even if they do go through Highway 99 or Highway 70, they're still going to be coming through Sutter County. So that's one of my concerns. Another concern is the chickens over on Pelora and Weiler Avenue. There are no chickens there yet, but when this Panda Express and all those fast food chains end up coming across the street from our house, there are going to be chickens. And in the city, you're only allowed to have 9 hens, no roosters. I just wanted to know what was going to go on with if the property across the street from us has chickens running around and they hop over our fence and try to do something with our chickens, mess up our eggs and everything. I just want to know. All right, thank you. Sorry.
So, ma'am, you have no chickens now?
I have 6 chickens in my backyard, and the chickens from Highway 99 keep hopping our fence, doing the business with our chickens, and I've gotten a
Oh, that's the funky chicken.
animal control has been to our house and said we need to get rid of the rooster.
All right.
Well, it's the city's rooster. It's not ours.
Okay.
I don't know who owns these animals, but they need to contain them because I keep trying to get fined for this.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I'm
ma'am.
sorry.
No, you're good.
Bye.
That one's going to go down the memory book, though. That's a good question. I love the chickens. All right. Does anybody else care to speak that don't have a card? All right. Now, Ben, are you getting ready to?
Yeah, next item.
Your next item. You're after consent?